Thank you very much for the time. My name is Gedong Maulana Kapir. Here I want to present the research that entitled is the impact of multi-religious studies on Indonesian student higher education. So as the background, in Indonesia, religious courses is mandatory based on Article 35 of Law number 12, 2012 on higher education, specifies the implementation of mandatory courses on campus, which are religious education, Pancasila philosophy, citizenship, and the Indonesian language. The goal of these mandatory courses is to cultivate dignified student character and civility. To achieve this purpose, the majority of Indonesian campuses offer similar religious education model, which is mono-religious model. So this mono-religious model learning strengthens the theological faith of the student. However, society needs not a static entity. The globe has various perspectives, traditions, visions, including religious diversity. As a result, religious education in Indonesia requires a progressive paradigm shift to instill a humanist and inclusive spirit in students, which is manifested in multi-religious education form. It means that students study multiple religions rather than just one, because religions or beliefs are remarkably different. This is something new that not has been widely applied in Indonesia, despite the country's complicated religious or belief heterogeneity. So based on this case, we use second research about religious teaching. The first one is mono-religious education. In this model, students understand just one religious teaching, which applies to homogeneous educational communities. The goal is that students acquire a robust cognitive understanding of their faith, resulting in a strong affectional attachment to their religious heritage. And the second one is multi-religious education. Students are invited to learn about the key teachings and differences among various traditions, and at a cognitive level, they will be able to explain the characteristics of each. The goal extends beyond cognitive development to the establishment of a tolerant and inclusive mindset. For the last one is interreligious education, like interfaith dialogue, allows the exchange of information, which has the same goal as multi-religious learning, which aims to strengthen student awareness of the diversity of faith appreciation. In Binus University, we organize multi-religious education, beginning with recognizing the education plays a significant role in shaping student cognitive and emotive awareness to respect members of various religions. Instead of mono-religious education model, as is the case in many Indonesian colleges, Binus offers religious learning from a multicultural perspective. In this model, we divide into three parts. The first one is introducing the main teachings and traditions of Indonesian religions. The second is raising awareness of peace and cooperation among religious communities. And the last one is providing a critical attitude towards religious extremism. Based on all this information, our research focus to investigate if multi-religious education at Binus University can promote an inclusive and critical mindset to the student as outlined in the curriculum as a crucial impact of religious education. This study used a questionnaire survey method with 200 students or respondents who had participated in religious subject in the previous semester. A survey of 18 questions was carried out online. It consists of two major sections of questions to identify their agreement with the necessity for a critical and inclusive attitude towards religion. The questionnaire consists of two approaches. The first one is conceptual, and the second is case studies relating to the similar topic. And as the result, students oppose religious ideologies that marginalize followers of other faiths. And then 100% of respondents said that they reject the idea of religiously exclusive understanding, until 95% of respondents disagree that discriminating acts are acceptable. 98% of respondents believe that there is no connection between religion and violence, and only a small percentage of respondents, meanwhile, had an opposing viewpoint. Violence and religion are intimately intertwined, acknowledged by 2 until 5% of the respondents. This response is grounded in the real practice of religious communities, where religious teaching have been abused, not in philosophical understanding. For the case study related to critical attitude of religious life, we have found that 100% of students firmly reject the practice of dissolution of worship of minority by the majorities. 50% disagree and 85% strongly disagree. And 100% of students disagree with the prohibition of the use of religious attributes at the shopping center on religious holidays. 95% of students disagree with the rule of application, 15% strongly disagree, and 95% disagree. Only 5% of respondents thought this rule was appropriate. Student vote for student organization leader only based on religion. 97% of students disagree, while 3% agree on that. And the Indonesian Ministry of Religious Policy support only the dominant religion, get 97% of students disagree. For the third finding is about conceptual, is related to religious inclusive character. 100% of respondents firmly and unwillingly agree that all religion teach tolerance. 35% agree and 65% strongly agree. Affirm an importance of interfaith cooperation in promoting progress and world peace. In the case, every respondent concurred that religious diversity may create opportunities for collaboration in achieving humanity noble goals, and undoubtedly, students see progress and world peace as beneficial ideas for religious practice and have a favorable relationship with many religious communities. For the case study related to religious inclusive character, one striking finding was that all students thought interfaith exchange were a worthwhile endeavor. Similarly, all respondents fully agree with the interfaith youth camp and environmental conservation movement achieved through interreligious collaboration. In other case, 96% of students believe that it's easy for students to build friendship with classmates who are of different religions when they are familiar with the distinctive teaching of other religions, as they do during a semester of multi-religious learning. 40% agree, 56% strongly agree, and only 4% are not in agreement. And only 4 until 5% of people reject inclusive religious good practices, as in the two other cases, the Muslim youth visit to the Catholic Cathedral Church in Bandung, West Java at Ramadan 2023, and the Interfaith Youth Camp program run by social and education organization as a platform for interfaith dialogue. Based on all this finding, now we come to the conclusion. Based on current research, students have benefited greatly from the multi-religious learning programs, inclusive and critical nature, which has been implemented for a single semester. Up to 95 till 98% of students concur on several crucial ideas conceptually and practically regarding the significance of being both inclusive and critical of religion. This indicates that a sizable portion of respondents accept critical and inclusive religious perspective. Affirmation of religious behavior, which generally stem from the critical and inclusive view of religion, and commitment to primal identity were two factors that lead only 2 until 5% of respondents to have the opposite attitude. The high degree of student acceptance of inclusive and critical principle in multi-religious learning indicate the effectiveness of multi-religious content. These findings are important input for Character Building and Development Center, Binus University, to maintain and improve the quality of multi-religious learning material and method to create real positive impact on students. I think that's all our research, and thank you very much.